On this segment, we're going to be practicing the condensed cutting technique with the twin combs. To practice this, I'm going to suggest that you get a mannequin head and shape the sides so you can create a mohawk like I did on my mannequin. If you don't have a mannequin head, I'm going to suggest that you find yourself a model and separate all the hair like you actually cutting that, but without cutting it, separate it with some ponytails, and then just keep the crest on the center. For the first exercise, I want you to use the two combs and comb the hair back to you. One comb goes on the front and one on the back, and they come at the same time towards you. Stop the video and practice this segment. For this second exercise, I want you to put the combs on a formula A shape and then loosen up the hair on the top. Stop the video and practice this segment. For this third exercise, I want you to put the combs on a V shape and start grabbing the hair. Stop the video and practice this segment. For this fourth exercise, I want you to have the shears on your hand, but with the thumb outside of it. Loosen up on the top, coming up on the center, coming up in the center. Stop the video and practice this segment. For the fifth exercise, we're going to get ourselves in position to cut the hair. So we're going to do every single thing that we've done at this point. At this point, when the combs have the angle that we want it, we're going to use our fingers to compress the hair to put it on the right place so we can cut it. It's possible to move your body to the side and cut it this way as well too, but you have to be careful and not move the combs with you. At this point, you want to position your body in front of the section that you're going to be cut and go from the top down. Stop the video and practice this segment. When you're cutting the hair, you're using only this part of the blade and you're cutting and moving. I suggest that you never close the shears because this is going to create marks on your layers. How you position your fingers on the combs is very relevant. You gotta use your fingers and go this way so you can actually pull the hair down. If you hold it this way, it's going to catch the hair and it's going to prevent from you coming down with the combs. As you can see, we have a lot of ways to hold the two combs. Find the one that feels more comfortable to you. And now you're ready to cut from short to long. Stop the video and practice this segment. When you cut the top part of the hair on a vertical, you want to use the two combs and comb the hair all the way up so you can get all the hair well distributed within all the teeth of the comb. If the hair is not well distributed through the combs, you won't be able to cut from short to long. You have to have the shortest piece on the top and the longest one on the bottom. If my part is right here, this hair is supposed to be on the top of the comb. And now you're ready to cut from short to long. Stop the video and practice this segment. Practice the same twin comb technique on the top of the head. You can create a neutral angle, short to long or long to short. And now you're ready to cut from short to long. Stop the video and practice this segment. For this exercise, we're going to cut a straight line on the back using the French method. Take your time using your fingers to create a flat panel with the hair to cut. Practice this until you feel very fluid. First, we're going to cut a straight line with the shears, and we're going to use this finger as a holding place to keep it stable. Second, we're going to use the point cutting technique to create a straight line. We're going to hold the hair, and then we're going to use the point cutting technique and this finger as a holding support for the shears. Stop the video and practice this segment. And third, we're going to use the razor to cut a straight line using the freeform cutting technique. So we're going to hold the hair, and then we're going to be carving on the top. Stop the video and practice this segment. Now we're going to be practicing how to cut layers on natural fall. We're going to see the difference in between cutting the hair projected out and a natural fall. Observe what happened to the hair when I come in this direction, cut this angle and falls down. As you can see, all the hair on this part of the curve of the head is going to be collapsing on the same space, and then it's going to be no layers and then layers on the bottom. That's why I never cut the layers on the top of the head, always where the hair lays, with the exception when I have very short layers on the top. Here you see my fingers, the angle that I'm going to be cutting, just exactly what I wanted. As you can see, as I project this hair up, this is the angle that I was cutting on versus this other angle. Continue using the fingers to cut the whole perimeter, the center, the right and the left. Stop the video and practice this segment. For this next exercise, we're going to use the condensed cutting technique with the twin combs, and we're going to comb the hair on natural fall where we want it and cut it. The cool thing about using this technique versus the fingers that we just did is that you get less tension on the hair, and then you get better distribution of the hair through the combs because it's way longer than your fingers. Stop the video and practice this segment. For the last exercise, we're going to use our fingers to hold the hair on natural fall and then use the blade to carve it underneath the fingers. Make sure to use a brand new razor blade to do this. Keep the razor blade on the palm of your hand. Use the guide as a reference. Stop the video and practice this segment. For this exercise, we're going to be practicing some bangs cutting techniques. To practice the first techniques, we are going to create a section that follows the hairline. You can start by doing this about 2 fingers of width. Now, if your hair is thicker or finer, you can change that. Stop the video and practice this segment. For the first technique, compress the hair can on the center and use your razor to cut it. This is going to create a soft oval. The more you concentrate the hair to the center, the more oval it's going to get. Stop the video and practice this segment. For the second exercise, use your fingers to compress some pieces of hair and then carve it with your razor. Stop the video and practice this segment. For the third exercise, move all the hair to the corner of the eyebrow and carve it with the razor. It's going to create a short to long bang. Stop the video and practice this segment. Repeat the same thing on the opposite side. That's going to create a pointy bend. Stop the video and practice this segment. To create thicker bangs, we're going to create a section that is in a triangle shape. Here you can see how I use the comb to find the highest point of the head. You should be able to find this angle and this point. Use that point to start the triangle. You can take it as far as you want. I don't recommend past the corner of the eyebrows. Use the comb with the teeth going forward to hold the hair with low tension to cut it out. I like the comb to be sitting on the bridge of the nose right there. Stop the video and practice this segment. If the bangs are too heavy and you want to make it lighter, you can use this angle with the comb to cut it and make it softer. Stop the video and practice this segment. If you have a mannequin head like this, we're going to create a really cool mohawk with the haircut that we just started. Here I'm making the triangle section bangs into the pointing bangs, following the cut that I did before. Stop the video and practice this segment. Using the bangs as a reference, we use the French cutting technique to cut a square shape on the top of the head. For this first section, I'm going to be using my long shears. On a real client, I will be able to use the same technique and angle all throughout the top. On this case, to practice different techniques, we'll be using only the first section with the shears. Stop the video and practice this segment. You can practice using your shears and cutting the square all the way back, or you can use your razor to do this peeling cutting technique. The razor will give you more texture and movement. Stop the video and practice this segment. This is another way to cut the same line, but at this time I'm going to be using the texturizing shears and the same angle. You can use any of these techniques, or including the point cutting. All depends on the final look that you want to get. Stop the video and practice this segment. To cut on the round part of the crown area, we'll use the twin comb techniques and we'll cut short to long. At this point, I would suggest you use the razor to practice with a different tool. You can see here I'm cutting from short to long, starting up at the point that I finished my last cut on the top area, using that point as a guide. Stop the video and practice this segment. Continue cutting the back using the two combs, connecting the short with the long piece. Here I'm using the shears, but I can use the razor if I prefer that. This just helps you to try different tools. Stop the video and practice this segment. To connect the front to the back, comb all the hair on one side and using the razor carve it back. Repeat the same technique on the opposite side. Stop the video and practice this segment. Blow dry the hair to give it a lot of texture and volume. Styling is one of the fundamentals to create a final look. Practice manipulating the hair with your fingers to mold a shape. Stop the video and practice this segment. To get a really nice continuity on the layers from short to long all the way, use your razor and carve some pieces wherever you feel using the freeform cutting technique. That's what you can do that normally you cannot do by just pulling your fingers. Take your time to make it super cool. These freeform final touches on dry hair can be done as well with the shears. Stop the video and practice this segment.